Luna never could have imagined this. Ethan, the guy who used to let her rest her head on his lap, the guy who was once head over heels for her, would be acting so distant and cold today. He even seemed reluctant to share a bed with her. This made the innocent Luna think he was starting to dislike her, purposefully keeping his distance and avoiding too much physical closeness. But the real reason was that Ethan was a teenager. He was trying hard to control his urges, to not cross a line. He only agreed to sleep beside her because he worried her frequent nightmares would harm her health. While it helped her feel better, for Ethan, it was pure torture. Having a beautiful girl lying next to him, any guy would struggle to keep his cool. All of his strange behavior was noticed by Luna. She just didn't understand why he was acting that way. After leaving the room, Ethan himself was confused. His mind was in a total fog. He didn't know if he was falling for her or just spacing out. The worst part was, confessing his feelings to Luna wouldn't change anything because Luna was as naive as a child, completely clueless about romance and relationships. Not long before this, Luna had been a cold, top-tier assassin. She had never failed a mission since she was a kid, but now she was facing a career crisis. To convince Ethan to hire her, Luna decided to demonstrate her skills on the spot. "What do you think? Pretty impressive, huh?" she said with a proud look. She had shown up first thing in the morning to pitch herself, not thinking it was strange at all. Ethan thought she was just a maid looking for housework, so he let her in, planning to politely send her on her way after a brief chat. But then she explained she specialized in assassination, in taking care of targets. She had come on a referral to visit Ethan specifically. Ethan was trembling. He was less convinced she was a killer and more convinced she was unstable. Suddenly, Luna's expression turned dark. Ethan worried she was about to snap. Instead, Luna walked to the backyard, took out every hidden weapon on her, and with a single, fluid motion, threw them all. They embedded themselves in a tree, perfectly aligned. She then looked back at him, awaiting a reaction. That's when Ethan realized she really was an assassin. A cold sweat broke out on his skin. Luna kept up her pitch. "If there's anyone you need dealt with, I can get the job done." Ethan forced himself to stay calm. He claimed he wasn't familiar with her referrer, and politely turned down her job application. Hearing this, she paused for a moment. Then, she bowed to Ethan in apology. "I've taken up your time," she said, gathered her things, and left. Just as Ethan breathed a sigh of relief, he noticed something on the ground. A bell hair accessory Luna had dropped. At the same time, Luna remembered what her referrer had told her. "If it's Ethan, he'll treat you like family." Comparing that to reality, she felt a pang of disappointment. Then, snapping back to the present, she saw Ethan approaching to return the bell. He was completely unaware of the delivery truck next to him. Seeing this, Luna instantly sprang forward, saving Ethan at the last possible second. Looking up at Luna, who was now on top of him, Ethan felt less fear and more like his heart was racing. To repay her for saving his life, Ethan decided to hire her to help around the house. He told her the job would involve cleaning, but Luna's professional instincts kicked in again. She thought he meant her usual line of work. It took some explaining for her to understand that Ethan needed someone to take out the trash, clean the rooms, and handle all sorts of household chores. She was bewildered. She explained the maid outfit was provided by her contact, but she had zero experience with housework. Worried Ethan would change his mind, she nervously picked up the cleaning tools, determined to prove her worth. As expected, her clumsiness led to a complete mess. Under Ethan's gaze, she panicked. After such a humiliating display, she couldn't bear to stay. Just as she was about to leave on her own, Ethan softened. He said he'd teach her everything from the beginning. A flicker of warmth touched her cold heart. 2.5 hours flew by, and the two of them finally got the house spotless. Ethan told the soaking wet Luna to go take a bath so she wouldn't catch a cold. Part of Ethan couldn't help but feel a little anticipation. Luna was a bit of an airhead, after all. Maybe when she came out, there'd be an interesting sight, but reality was disappointing. Not a single thing was out of place. When dinner time rolled around, there was no hope of Luna cooking. But she said she was good at cutting things. She successfully shredded a head of cabbage. The tonkatsu takeout Ethan ordered arrived. Luna didn't recognize this food. It just reminded her of something she'd eaten before. She wasn't very sensitive to taste, and didn't have a real name, going only by the codename Snow. Of course, her employer could call her whatever he liked. When Ethan said he'd keep calling her Miss May, she found herself caring more than usual. She picked up a piece of tonkatsu and ate it. Then she took a sip of miso soup. Just like before, she couldn't tell if it tasted good or bad, but this food felt much warmer than anything she'd eaten before. Ethan made her feel the same way. Finally, she understood. She didn't want Ethan to see her as a cold person. She wanted to become someone warm, just like him. Ethan reminded her to try the tonkatsu with sauce. From that moment on, Luna became a total foodie. Late at night, Ethan had the nightmare again, the one where his mother abandoned him. He woke up feeling a bit hungry. He went to make some instant noodles for a snack, but he found Luna in the living room, secretly eating the tonkatsu sauce. Caught red-handed, she hurriedly apologized. She said if something happened to her tomorrow, she wanted one last taste of the sauce. So, Ethan just invited her to share a late-night snack. He quickly prepared some instant noodles and side dishes. Chocolate as a topping looked a bit strange, but as long as it had the sauce's flavor, she was happy. She explained that when she left her room earlier and passed Ethan's door, she'd heard him moaning in pain. She thought another assassin had broken in, but when she entered, she found he was just having a nightmare. He'd been calling out for his mom. Ethan's face turned bright red. Luna went on, saying she'd had a dream too. The tonkatsu sauce was talking to her, telling her to eat as much as she wanted, but she woke up just as she was about to taste it. It was the first time she'd ever felt disappointed by a dream. Usually, her dreams were just about killing or being killed. Now, she wanted Ethan to have good dreams. She just didn't know how to help. Ethan said that when he had nightmares as a kid, the only thing that helped him sleep was resting his head on his mom's lap. The moment he finished speaking, Luna immediately offered him her lap. Ethan, of course, found it hard to accept. Seeing his reaction, Luna started doubting herself again. I really am useless, she thought. With no other choice, Ethan reluctantly laid his head down, enduring the awkwardness.
あったかい。